Demolition, and there's that right hand. They're duking it out, not by the right hand. Takayama.
Green trunks for the southpaw, the notorious Conor McGregor. Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr. Conor relaxed, smiling. Oh!
Nate Diaz, you just shook up the world. How's that feel? Hey, I'm not surprised.
What is up, Chingasos crew? We are back. First episode of 2025. We're hitting the ground running. Sorry about last week. We had Cousin Ant's fantastic wedding bash. So shout out Cousin Ant and Sarah. Congratulations. With that being said, I hope everyone out there is having a fantastic week. I hope you're ready to rock. I hope you are ready to talk some Chingasos. Let's jump right into this, y'all. You know how I like to do it. I got not one, but two awesome fan-made edits. Check this one out. This one's called Not the Drum Kit. I found this one on Reddit, and it's got sound effects, starting with this. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Not the point. That's pretty gnarly. Oh, a motorcycle, bro. Ooh. That one was good. Oh, bro. Gotcha. Wait, big dog.
Oh, my. Jab out there and then. Carolina's
Oh, hookah sound. Nice. So that was a nice, awesome edit. I don't know who created that. Looks like it says ASM Craft or something. I don't know. I'll have to do some research on that. But that was fantastic. And I got one more for y'all. I got one more. Here we go. This one's perfect because later on this week, we're going to have none other than the man, the legend, Peyton Talbot getting back into the cage. Check out this awesome edit done by Justin freaking Bond on YouTube. Give him a follow. But I saw him do a breakdown video of how he created this video, and he did this by hand. So check it out at Justin freaking Bond on YouTube. It's amazing, y'all. Nice little smooth vibes there. But if you're out there listening to this week's episode, head over to our YouTube page at Chingasos Crew and give us a follow. All right, let's get into this week's news. I got another clip. This just dropped recently. I think this happened Friday afternoon. One of the homies, the GOAT of all GOATs, Khabib, on an airplane. And originally, everyone was saying that this was Alaska Airlines, but Khabib just put on his Insta not too long ago that this was actually Frontier Airlines out of Alaska. So there seemed to have been a little misunderstanding by the crew for whatever reason, maybe racial profiling, really. Let's check out the clip. Here's Khabib being super cool, sitting down in his seat right next to the exit on the plane. And here is a stewardess talking to him.
Explain in the box because they're not comfortable with my flight attendants. And unfortunately, it is there. Yes, it is.
You guys, when I was making check-in, they asked me, do I know it? Yes, I said.
And they said yes. I understand that, but it's also off of their judgment. I'm not going to do this back and forth. I will call a supervisor. You can either take a different seat, or we can go ahead and escort you off the plane. Which one are we doing? Okay, I'll call a supervisor, and then we're going to have to rebook you for a different flight. Josh, do you copy?
Correct. Now, you need to come with me. I'll help you get represented. Do you have any nuggets?
So that was it. They ended up escorting Khabib off the plane. He apparently had to get on another flight an hour and a half later, but eventually he made it to his destination, which is freaking sad if you think about it, because I can't count how many times I've been on a plane under the influence of a brownie or a nice cold beverage, and I've sat right there and nobody said anything about me or the boys. So I know they ask you before you board the plane when you're going to sit in that area. They ask you if you're okay with that. And if you're not, they will move you somewhere else. So it sounded like he had already agreed to it. They had already agreed to it, and they still weren't cool with that. So for whatever reason, they don't want the healthiest man on all the planes in the entire airport, for that matter, to sit in the most important seat so that he can do the most help if something were to arise. What a crock of shit, man.
What the fuck?
All right, let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's keep talking moves. Let's talk Chingasos here. I think that's right. Fight announcement time. Let's kick this off right here. Let's do this. Fight announcements, starting it off with none other than one of our Jiu-Jitsu favorites who's transitioning now into mixed martial arts, making his UFC debut. The man, the legend, Cody Steele, taking on Rong Zhu at UFC 312, Sydney, Australia. Man, heading down under to whoop some ass. Super looking forward to this one. Write it down, guys. Cody Steele, this will probably be on the early prelims since it's going to be his first fight, and Rong Zhu is always down to get his ass whooped. All right, check this out. This is going to be a post-St. Patrick's Day brawl going down officially March 22nd. JDM, Alfonso's one and only man crush that we know of, taking on Leon Rocky Edwards, UFC London. It's going to be the main event. I don't believe this is going to be a pay-per-view, but it is all set. Looks like they're going to be going 5 rounds, and this could totally propel JDM into an instant title contender. So stay tuned, see what happens. March 22nd. All right. Looks like the UFC is set to make another appearance down in Miami for UFC 314, and they're trying to line up a mega main event. And I don't know why they want to do this, but they want to put Volkanovski in the dirt, apparently, because they're trying to arrange Ilia Topuria versus Alexander Volkanovski 2. So I don't know why. I thought it was done. I didn't see. I mean, yeah, you could always say that he could have used more time, that Volkanovski could have used more time, and maybe the quick turnaround affected him getting knocked out. But after this, there's no questions if Ilia does the same thing, which I don't see why he would not. I'm fearful for Volkanovski, but we'll see what happens. Anything can happen, including the first death in the UFC. So since we're talking about Ilia, and Ilia has talked about moving up in lightweight, not really wanting to stay at bantamweight, he wants to go up and face Islam. So check this out. Islam was on the Aiden Ross podcast, and he had something to say.
Some beat Islam. No, if people, everybody, like a lot of people ask me to fight Ilia. What do you think? Not make sense. I fought with Ilia for what? Not belt, nothing, Money. I have money. I don't need money. And I already fight with some of the guys who come from the small division, and but I'm not saying no. If I clean my division, if people want, if Dana want, why not? One day,
yeah,
I can do this.
Yeah,
easy.
There you go. Apparently easy money for Islam. So he's saying after he cleans out the division, which after he beats Armand again for the second time, this time with the belt, then there's going to be no questions. So after he cleans out his division, if that's what the UFC and that's what the fans want, he has no problem fighting Ilia Topuria. He says that he's already fought a smaller man at a lower weight class before. He doesn't really want to do it, but hey, whatever. If that's what they want, that's what the people want. He's ready to give it to us. So All right, keeping the announcements going. A little over a month, the UFC is set to return to Seattle, Washington, and we got the main event and co-main event. Henry Cejudo taking on Song Yadong, which should be a banger of a fight, man. That should be fun to watch, man. That's a lot at stake here. A lot for Henry to lose, should he lose, and a lot for Song Yadong to gain all in one night, man. This is a gamble and a half for both dudes, man. This is a great matchup. And then the co-main event, which it's time, I guess, and a little sad, but hey, it happens, right? Everyone's ending and everyone's career comes to an end at some point. Dominic Cruz taking on Rob Font. Dominic Cruz already announced that this will for sure be his last fight in the UFC. And it's time. It's definitely time. But just a familiar face leaving the cage and leaving it out in style. So it should be a good fight, man. Him and Rob Font. That's not an easy fight for Dom. So we'll see. So here we are looking at the whole entire card. Cejudo, Song Yadong, Rob Font, Dominic Cruz, Edson Barbosa, Steve Garcia, MMA fighting nerd John Silva taking on Melsik Bagdasarian. And then this fight, bro, this could be co-main or even main event. Brendan Allen taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. A rewind. They're running it back from LFA, I believe. I think they fought. Chiesa is set to have a fight as well. And looks like, I don't know if this is on the co-main, or I mean, if this is on prelims or not, but looks like we're going to have Curtis Blades taking on Rizvan Kuniev, Urion Kurilaba taking on Ibo Aslan, Ketlin Vieira taking on Macy Chaisong. So we're going to have a handful of really, really good fights for that Seattle card. Looking forward to it. February 22nd. All right. Since we're talking about main events, there's a main event that everyone's been talking about. Everyone wants to see. We don't even know if we're going to get it, but we'll keep our fingers crossed until then. And I'm talking about Jon Jones taking on Tom Aspinall. And one of the OG heavyweight GOATs had something to say about the matchup. Cain Velasquez saying, I don't think Tom beats Jon. Watching his fights, I see a clear pattern in his striking. Jon certainly sees the same thing. Jon studies. He's a master at doing his homework. He'll know what to do. Everyone has a pattern. Some hide it better than others. Aspinall's pattern is easy to spot. That's Cain Velasquez via the Ariel Helwani show. So who knows, man? That's just someone chiming in, someone's opinion. But the more I really start to think about this, the more I'm kind of leaning towards Jon in this matchup, man. So I don't want to get into it too much, but eventually we'll see if this happens. And when it does, we'll talk more and more about it. And I'll tell you guys why I think Jon will remain the GOAT. All right. Earlier this week, I posted something on the socials and I got tricked just like everyone else. I was all ready for this. Joe Rogan was on the pod. I don't know who he had on the pod. I don't know if it was Theo Vaughn. But anyways, on his own podcast, he announced that he had heard that there was a rumor that Jon Jones was asking for 30 mil to fight Tom Aspinall, and the UFC was going to give it to him. Well, that was short-lived. 2 days later, God damn! Uncle Dana reaches out to Joe Rogan and says, hey, bro, fake news. That is not true, and that is not happening. And actually, Jon's talking about retiring. What the fuck? Ugh. So we went from having our dreams come true to having our dreams shattered before our eyes. Stay tuned to more Chingasos Crew. We'll see what happens, man. Maybe they're just playing the old switcheroo on us. Maybe this is part of Jon's plan to get more money. All right, guys. You guys know I'm always about giving you something cool to watch, something cool to read, something cool to listen to, a cool podcast, a cool documentary. Well, Vice TV has put out a new series, and it's called Dark Side of the Cage. And their first episode just premiered last Wednesday, and it was on Kimbo Slice. I haven't gone through the whole episode yet, but it's actually pretty good. I'm going to go back and watch the rest of it. And this Wednesday, upcoming Wednesday show, Diego Sanchez, the fighter, and the guru. So it should be a pretty good episode. So I'll try to give us a weekly episode breakdown of every episode. So I'll give you a rundown on next week's episode with Crazy Diego Sanchez. Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's get to this. We had our first UFC Fight Night of 2025. Main event, Amanda Ribas taking on Mackenzie Dern. I only got the bangers for y'all and only the ones that I really want to talk about. So let's start this off by saying you guys already know I'm going to have to cut this off or cover it up for the YouTubes, but I'll have the clips on the socials at Chingasos Crew on Instagram, at Chingasos Crew on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now, as well as TikTok until they block it. All right. First up on the prelims, Punahele Soriano taking on Euros Medic. And this was supposed to be a classic striker versus a grappler, with Puna being the grappler and Euros Medic being the striker. Well, talk about F around and find out. Check this out. Euros Medic tries to take the center of the cage against Puna. Throws down. I believe he throws a quick 1-2 and just tries to make a quick exit. Puna covers up. There's a 1-2 and he backs straight up. And instead of backing up, actually, and during the fight, Dominic Cruz made an excellent point of saying, instead of backing straight up, Euros should have backed out and turned to the left or right. Instead of that, that's a straight line, and Puna just drops up hammers, follows Euros to the ground, and finishes with a sweet KO victory. Way to start off 2025, Puna. Get that bonus, dog. Actually, I don't even know if he got the bonus, but he probably should for that one, man. And if he didn't, he should definitely do stand-up. Check this out. This is Puna in the post-fight interviews talking about his KO.
You've had a 31-second finish. Second time you've had a 31-second finish. Your fastest is actually 28 seconds.
Correction, my fastest is 10 seconds.
Where was
but
that?
It's not in the ring. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
What the fuck? Hey-o.
That's a good one, bro. So Puna not taking his night seriously, having fun with it. I like it. All right. Now, a man who has been on a skid as of late, and I had really high hopes for this guy. But after this, maybe I might be back on the train. Next fight I want to talk about here, Action Man Curtis taking on Roman Kopylov. And there may have been some super suspect moments during this fight, maybe some questionable eye pokes, ball shots, points not taken. But that's neither here nor there, like Fonzo likes to say, because they ended up going almost all 3 rounds. And here we are, round 3, 19 seconds left. Kopylov looked like he's going for a slow single. Curtis with the choke, with the front headlock, drops a knee. For some reason, lets it go. 9 seconds left. Kopylov throws a right hand. And here comes a left kick that drops Curtis with 1 second left, and Mark Smith decides that is enough. That it's crazy. I don't know if he knew how much time was left in the round. Obviously, Curtis was hurt, right? Let's watch that one more time. Curtis partially blocks it, but gets kicked right in the jaw, lower jaw, drops to a knee, is stumbling to get back up, and Mark Smith, the referee, doesn't even give him a chance to try to get back up, and Kopylov didn't even follow it up. So I don't know what he would have done if Kopylov would have ran up on him, but 1 second left, man. I don't know. I would like to hear what other refs would have done in that same position if they would have waited a little bit. I mean, only 1 second left. Curtis probably wins a decision, or at least they go to the cards, and he's for sure not KO'd, right? Oh, well, see what happens. I'm sure Curtis will have something to say about this. All right, next fight up was Abdul Razak Al Hassan taking on Cesar Almeida. I believe Cesar Almeida is a former Glory kickboxer. He may or may not have fought Poatan back in the day, so the dude can drop bombs. However, he has not been doing that in the UFC. So in this fight, Al Hassan was probably putting in actually more work, making Almeida making him defend. Actually took Almeida down at one point, and then he tried following it up with some hammers. Looked like he wasted a little bit of energy, but kudos to Almeida. He was cool as a cucumber. And I want to say at one point, He looked like he was even smiling. Here he is, faces to face, breaks off from Al Hassan. Al Hassan throws a couple strikes, but that's cool because Almeida's got hammers and takes a 1-2, drops Al Hassan out of nowhere with 40-something seconds left in round one. Al Hassan stiff as a board. I'm sure we'll see him getting shot pretty soon. That was wild, bro. Wild. Check this out. Gadoosh. Crazy left hand. Crazy. Damn. Take it easy, bro. That was amazing, man. What a night for for Cesar. Getting back in the win column. And the main event, Mackenzie Dern taking on Amanda Ribas for the second time around. We're going to find this, I believe, in the third round. 21 seconds left. Mackenzie's got the mount on Ribas. She's transitioning into an armbar, got an underhook on that left arm, and she sits back down. Ribas locks the arm up, tries to defend. Mackenzie drops some hammers, but eventually that's too much and just hyperextends Ribas's arm, and Ribas has nowhere to go. Nothing else left to do but tap or get your arm ripped into a bunch of smithereens there. So she taps. Mackenzie gets the win. And that is a wrap for the first show of 2025, y'all. But wait, there's more because next week we got the first pay-per-view of the year coming up. UFC 311. I am so pumped. I cannot wait. Man, it's going to be sick. But before we get to the fights, let's talk about this. There's a story that hasn't been getting too much traction, but I was like, dude, this is some cool game. So I found this on Reddit somewhere. Georgi Kokioshvili. Looks like he is a fellow Georgian, and he posted that Magdi Amachov is now helping Umar Nurmagomedov to prepare for Merab Davishvili. Well, I don't know who Magdi is. Nobody does. Not a whole lot of people do, but apparently he was a former training partner of Merab, a fellow Georgian who Merab allowed to stay at his house for free and help him train so that he can start a career. And this is what he does. Sounds like another Brandon Moreno, Henry Cejudo story. So see what happens here. All right, let's get into this, guys. Next week, UFC 311. Check it out, man. There is like almost nothing in the world that could tear me away from them. There's a handful of things, don't get me wrong. But what I got on the screen definitely is not one of them. Check out this freaking lineup. Starting from the main event on down, Islam Makhachev, Arman Sarukian.
What the
Yup. Merab Davishvili, Umar Nurmagomedov. Yuri Prochaska, Jamal Hill. Beniel Dariush, Renato Moicano. Kevin Holland taking on RDR. Unfortunately, Johnny Walker, I heard, sustained an injury, so he's not going to be on this card. But we still got the boy, Peyton Talbot, making his return to the octagon against up-and-coming competition. Actually, he's not up-and-coming. He's been around the block, so this is going to be his stiffest test so far for sure. Taking on Ronnie Barcelos. Looks like we also have Jaltan Almeida taking on Sergey Spivak. And then we got Zachary Reese taking on Cedric S. Dumas. I think that's the Frenchy guy. But actually, he's not. He's American. Sorry, guys. But anyways, January 18th, next Saturday, UFC 311. It is on like Donkey Kong, y'all. So that is all your boy has for you. Hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. Next week, I will have all the clips, all the highlights from everything that you care about in the world of combat sports. Until next week, Chingasos Crew, have an awesome week. We out of here. Peace.
Demolition, and there's that right hand. They're looking it out. Mount Barber right hand. Takayama.
Green trunks for the southpaw, the notorious Conor McGregor. Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr. Conor relaxed, smiling. Oh!
Nate Diaz, you just shook up the world. How's that feel? I'm not surprised.